Hello, this is David Situ for the Octagon, and today we're going to be talking with Atsuo, a senior who will be graduating soon, about his piano performance.
Hi, my name is Atsuo, and I'm really happy to be here to talk about my piano career.
Alright, so to start it off, how long you've been playing the piano?
I started piano when I was 3 years old, so it'll be 14 years now.
So how did you first start getting into playing the piano?
It was more of because my cousin played piano, so my parents pushed me to play piano, and we had a piano teacher. We had a family friend who was a piano teacher, so she taught me a couple of lessons, and I started to play piano.
So what has kept you playing over the years?
In the beginning, so I would say about until beginning of middle school, it was all because of my parents. They pushed me to do it. But after I entered competitions and started to win prizes, it's more of something that I started to do by myself.
So how often do you play? Like, what does your typical practice schedule look like?
So I go to piano lessons every day after school from 4 to 6, and we have a pretty set schedule for what we do. Um, when I start, but we start with a warm up. Is that all right if I play with a warm up?
Yeah, so could you show us a bit of that warm-up then?
So what my teacher and I usually do is we start with something that we call a slow practice, where we pick a really fast piece, but we play it extremely slow, so to get your fingers warmed up and also to make sure you don't forget it when you get nervous in front of people. So, for example, there's this one etude that we're working on. Etude's one of the practice pieces by Chopin. And this is Chopin's Etude 10-4. So that's the beginning of it, and it's a really fast piece, but we take it all the way down to 60, I believe. Checking all of the staccatos, rhythms, phrasings, dynamics to make sure that I remember it and my fingers remember it.
And so you just mentioned this a minute ago, but you've been performing in competitions and stuff. How did you first get into doing that?
It was something that my piano teacher found out, and she recommended me to do it. But in the beginning, I didn't want to do it because I was afraid of being judged by other people or not winning or disappointing my parents or teachers. But after the first competition, which I won third prize, I got my confidence.
hmm And then, so how often do you perform?
It depends, but I usually, for the past 4 years, so after I entered high school, I've applied to probably more than 4 or 5 competitions a year. And so after every competition, there's a performance, so I would say about 4 or 5.
And so, do you have to travel a lot for these performances? Because I know you played at Carnegie Hall this summer, or was it last summer?
I've played at Carnegie Hall. My first Carnegie Hall debut was when I was in ninth grade, and that was the fall of ninth grade. And after that, the spring of ninth grade, I also went again. And then sophomore, junior year, I went a couple of times. But yes, I do travel a lot. There's not much music opportunities in Sacramento. You have to go either to the Bay Area, but even still, I guess music is more popular in the East Coast than the West Coast.
And so, what would be one of your favorite things about performing, or maybe just playing the piano in general?
Um, well, I like performing in front of people because music is something that you don't just keep to yourself. It's something that you share with other people. So there's no point of me just practicing by myself and not showing anyone else, or not letting other people listen to it if I not letting people listen to it. So I think that's what lets me do it.
And so, do you have a favorite piece that you've played?
Yes, I have a couple. It's very hard to choose though. But right now I would say it's Clair de Lune by Debussy.
Could you play that for us by any chance?
Yes.
All right. So that was just really great.
Thank you.
So what about that piece really makes it one of your favorites?
It's this piece is different from my other favorite pieces because it's a quiet, soft, emotional piece, as opposed to the loud and heroic pieces that the other heroic pieces that I play. But there's something about this piece that makes you want to share it with everyone because it's just so beautiful.
And so you had that entire piece completely memorized. What kind of work has to go into getting it memorized like that?
For me, memorizing is really easy because after I hear it a couple times, practice it a couple times, then it's something that sticks in my head. But as I said in the beginning of this interview, the slow practice really helps because sometimes you can just play a piece just by impulse and your fingers remember it, but not your head. Your fingers remember it. And what happens is if you get nervous on stage, you if your fingers mess up, then you blank and you can't do anything. So really getting that connection between the head and the fingers is really important.
So what's it like for you performing? Do you get nervous a lot or are you kind of calm about it?
I do get very nervous. A lot of people say it doesn't look like I get nervous, or they say I look relaxed, but behind the stage, I'm very nervous.
Mhm. All right. So to close this out, is there anything specific that you would like to say to any listeners?
So I have my graduation concert on May 9th, I believe, which is a Saturday, at my piano teacher's house. So if you would like to, please come.
Okay. So thank you for listening to my interview with Atsuo. This has been David Situ for the Octagon.